from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
Hewitt Tire and Auto.
Call 850-769-7323.
Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Need a tow? Call Billy at Hometown Towing, 850-265-1562.
Cold, creamy, and gourmet. Milkshake Factory is now open at Breakfast Point Marketplace near Publix next to First Watch. Unbelievably delicious handcrafted milkshakes and chocolates like the famous chocolate bark. Try the mouth-watering chocolate-dipped strawberry shake. Family-friendly fun and unforgettable shakes await. Milkshake Factory now open at Breakfast Point Marketplace near Publix next to First Watch on Back Beach. Milkshake Factory.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-605-4650. 800-605-4650. 800-605-4650. That's 800-605-4650.
WVLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions. From college to the pros, interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, we're taking the inside drive with Ryan Mulvey.
I love it.
Broadcasting from the Gulf Plus studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning, Northwest Florida. This is the Inside Drive, sponsored by Golf Plus, right here in beautiful Panama City Beach. We're on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. James Fife here, filling in for Ryan Mulvey. Hanging out with me today, we got Chef Ross.
Good morning, everybody.
And of course, as always, behind the glass, making it happen, the ones and twos, David Hayes.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday morning. And I love the jersey that you're wearing today, James.
Got the Panthers jersey going on today. We are celebrating the Stanley Cup Finals, and we will be making our Stanley Cup Final predictions later in the show. And we'll also just talk about what is going to happen and what we might think will happen in the Stanley Cup Finals, where we see the Florida Panthers taking on the Edmonton Oilers, Part 2.
David, as a Lightning fan, how can you like that Panthers jersey he's wearing?
State of hockey, bro.
I don't. I just like the fact that the NHL Finals are upon us. That's what it is. It's and I mean, still, it's a great series, right? This series last year gave us
it should be
seven. It gave us 7 great games last year, overtime thriller to finish off the series. So to me, as a hockey fan, just glad that it's the NHL Finals. We've been like a few days without it. But yeah, I mean, I don't like the jersey because it's the Florida Panthers, but just because it tells me what today means, and it gets us one day closer to the NBA Finals, which for the first time in a long time, I'm more excited about than the NHL Finals. So.
That's only because the Pacers are in it.
It is what it is, though, right? I'm just talking about my excitement level and where that lies. And this year, it actually is closely.
You're going to have a very busy sports weekend.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
You got NHL, Braves, the NBA.
Braves better tighten up, or else it's just there ain't nothing to watch with them right now. But no, and college baseball, super regionals, the
Women's College World Series could go to Friday night.
Yeah, could go to Friday night. There you go. So yeah, you're right though. There is going to be a lot of sports.
Pro bowling somewhere.
Hey, we got to keep our eyes on
the RBC in the Canadian.
Is
the Canadian
Open?
Open?
The Canadian
no, it's not the Canadian Open.
Canadian Open's this weekend.
It is the Canadian Open.
The U.S. is next weekend.
Yeah, and the U.S. Open the next weekend.
Yeah. There you go. So
golfing, everybody. We golfing here on the Inside Drive. All right, guys. So to let you know out there, flags are yellow today. Beaches are beautiful. Get out and enjoy the water. Always like these days where we can get yellow flags. Don't have to worry about the red. Don't have to worry about the purple. Nice, beautiful beaches for all of us to enjoy today. So get out there and enjoy the beaches. Bring your radio along. Tune it into ESPN 104.3. You can call the text. You can call the show. You can text the show, 850-215-6290.
You can download that cool app, too.
And you can download the app. You can download it either through the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. I think it's the Apple App Store. That's what I'm going to call it, and that's what we're going to call it. You know, people understand what I'm saying?
I think with the with iPhone users, you could just call it the App Store, and we all know.
Yeah,
Apple being an app for
you probably just call it your
Apple.
Just call it your App Store, and people probably understand if you're on Google or Android or whatever. Yeah, you know where to go. But letting you guys know, the Best of Bay is upon us, and we have two great shows that have been nominated for Best of Bay. We got the Inside Drive, which we are listening to, being a part of right now, and the Coach James Hale Show in the morning. So go to ESPN.com, head on over, and vote for either the Inside Drive or the Coach James Hale Show. Very much appreciated. We would love to keep that award right here in-house where the best local radio is happening, without a doubt. How do I know it's the best? Because we talk local sports, and local sports radio, let's face it, is the best thing on the radio. All right, guys, let's catch up with some scores from last night. Only Major League Baseball happening last night. Other sports will be kicking off tonight, including the Stanley Cup Finals, which we have already talked about, and the Women's College World Series. Game number 1 between Texas and Texas Tech will take place tonight as well. So last night, the Chicago Cubs traveled to the nation's capital to take on the Nationals. Cubs come away with the big 8-3 victory. Last night, the Braves taking on the Diamondbacks, and it was not a pretty picture last night. Diamondbacks get the 8, the Braves get 3. Another Braves loss takes them down to 27-32. Marching in the wrong direction, boys. We need to reverse this. You got to the 500. Let's get back. Let's get on a 5-game winning streak. Let's make it a 6-game winning streak, and let's get back over that 500 mark. Tampa Bay Rays, playing in Steinbrenner last night, defeat the Texas Rangers 5-1. And the big news of last night, the Colorado Rockies, 3 runs.
Killing me.
The Marlins, 2 runs. That means the Rockies have won a series. The first time of the season, the Rockies have won a series. The second time of the season that the Rockies have won more than 1 game in a row. So congratulations to the Rockies for improving.
This could also mean that the Rockies have won more games in the month of June than they did all the month of May.
They have won more games already.
That's
either that or we're tied.
Well, we were doing the $2 bets yesterday, and so I was like, there's no way, no possible way that the Marlins are losing tonight. So I had like the Marlins, the Cubs, and the Tigers over the White Sox. Put $20 on it.
Well,
that's more than $2.
Well,
I know. Yeah. That's how confident I was.
Yeah.
Did not work out.
Didn't come out great for you on that one, man.
No, sir.
Well, we'll try to make up for it.
Being on the
today.
Inside Drive, too, in the month of May, Scotty Scheffler had 3 wins.
Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler had 3 wins, and the Marlins had 2.
That's a lot harder to win in golf.
Yeah, a lot harder. James had brought that up, I believe, yesterday, right?
Yeah. Yep. All right, the Astros taking on the Pirates last night. The Astros 3, the Pirates put up the goose egg. No runs for the Pirates. That team...
Is that another 8-inning performance by Skeens?
Yeah, that was another, great performance by Skeens. That is just totally being wasted by being on that team. 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts. You cannot blame that man for the losses that team is racking up. I mean, how do you have an ERA that is 2 and you have 4 wins and 6 losses? I mean, you're not letting them score.
Your offense scores less than 2?
That is the exact explanation, Ross. Yes, the exact explanation. I don't know what they need to do.
Watch them put up like 15 tonight.
That would be awful. I'd feel so sorry for Paul Skeens. I'd just be mad if I was Paul. Like, come on, guys. Come on, I'm giving you great arms here. What are you guys doing? Last night, the Yankees take on the Cleveland Guardians. Yankees 3, Guardians 2. Phillies travel north of the border to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. The Phillies come back with the win, 8-3. Bryce Harper making his comeback from the IL, gets a home run on the game. Angels taking on the Boston Red Sox in Boston. The Angels win it in extra innings, 4-3. The Reds taking on the Brewers in Cincinnati. The Reds get 4 runs. The Brewers only come up with 2. Tigers taking on the White Sox down on the south side of Chicago. The White Sox win 8-1 over the Tigers, man.
So that was actually 1 for 3 last night because I did not stay up for the Tigers and White Sox after the good old Marlin said, you know what? Forget your $20.
Yeah, I mean, you could already forget it at that point. It's already gone and burned.
Can I just rant about Yankee fans? Baseball fans in general.
Okay.
Real quick,
you went from one end of the spectrum to the whole dang thing.
I'm not just going to point out the Yankee fans, but this just happened to happen in Yankee Stadium last night. If you show up to a ballpark and you're cheering on the home team, you're sitting foul line, first couple rows, and there's a foul ball hit, and your fielder has a chance to get the ball, get away from the dang ball and let him play it. You can interfere with the opposing team because that's what you're supposed to do. But when it's your team on the field, your team trying to get the out, just get away and let your dude catch the ball.
Didn't that happen in the Cubs stadium or with the Cubs a few days ago as well?
It's happened at a lot of it happens probably every game.
This is not banana ball. It's not an out if you catch it, but it's an out with a dude with a jersey who's getting paid millions of dollars to catch the ball.
Yeah, it's an issue, and it's an issue that can only be solved if they're going to, just put the netting up the whole way around. Because fans are excited.
Yeah.
Fans are happy to be there. And when a ball's coming your way, what are you going to do? You're going to reach out and try to grab it because that's your souvenir. You want it.
But you also want that out. You have to get 27.
You got to get 27 outs to finish the game. That is correct. But, your fandom and you just being a person of excitement at that point really takes over a whole lot of, oh, look, I can get a ball, I can get a ball, I can get a ball. I've never caught a ball in a Major League Baseball game my entire life, but I can get one right now.
I'm pretty sure Aaron Judge would give that ball to that fan that got out of the way so Aaron Judge could catch that ball and get the out.
He might, but how it's going to happen there is it's going to be a toss to the crowd, so you're going to have the same reaction again of everybody reaching out for the ball.
And the play last night, the ball was on the playing side of the wall. It wasn't in the... Judge did not go in the stands. The fan reached over.
Yeah, and I mean, you see it every game. Even during home run balls, you'll see it, and fan gets called for interference.
Again, right field in Yankee Stadium.
You get kicked out. And I have kind of an issue with that, where the fans get kicked out if they interfere with the ball in a home run. Yeah, it doesn't need to happen, but it's a bad look. Because, we're not kicking fans out when it's a foul ball.
No.
But we're doing it when it's a home run. Let's get some consistency on that.
Yeah, but if it's a foul ball and it drops, it's a strike. If it's a home run and is not, and you're reaching over the fence to bring it back, that's
a home run. Yeah,
that's adding bases. So you go from could be a triple, could be a single to an automatic ground rule double. You're affecting the game.
Well, even if you're catching a ball in foul territory, if it is like a ground rule double where it bounces on the fair side and runs into the foul side and you reach out and grab it, you're still affecting the game. You're still getting bases, but you're not getting kicked out.
Yeah, you are. If you're affecting the game, so you reach out and pick up that ball, ground ball, pick it up.
Coming around.
You're kicked out for that. You're not kicked out for the foul ball, fly ball, interfering with that.
I still don't like it.
And I may believe that fan last night at Yankee Stadium did get kicked out.
I don't like it.
Because he got called for interference. Anytime you get called for fan interference, you're kicked out.
I don't like it. They either need to get the nets all the way down, or they just need to move the chairs back even further.
Put the nets all the way down.
Nets go all the way. Most stadiums, they go past to like where the dirt is. Some of them go a little bit further. Yeah, it's just really all on the stadiums. The only one I know that goes all the way to the end is the Little League Stadium in Williamsport.
Minor leagues go all
the way to the end. Some do. Not all of them, but all of them at least go past the dirt in minor league.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can get a foul ball in some minor league stadiums if you're like way down the line, but you got to be pretty far down the line to get it because,
And it's got to go up.
Yeah, and it's got to go up.
It's not a line drive foul ball.
Got to have a lot of spin and English on the ball to get it there.
It's not one of them that hurt a lot.
No, I mean, it's one of those you'll hear the crack and you should be able to look up, but I'm not saying everybody's not paying attention in their phones anymore either. All right, back into the scores. We have the Royals taking on the Cardinals. Royals come away with the victory of Missouri 10-7 over the Cardinals. Orioles get a big win last night over the Seattle Mariners 5-1. And let's see, Padres-Giants played last night. Another extra inning game for the Padres and the Giants. Padres defeat the Giants 3-2. The Twins taking on the Athletics over in California. The Twins 10 spot, the Athletics 3. And to finish off our list, the Mets and Dodgers played in Los Angeles last night in extra innings. The Dodgers defeat the Mets 6-5.
Freddie Freeman walks it off.
Freddie. Gotta miss him in Atlanta. I mean, that was bad handling by lots of people on that one. I'm not going to put that one solely on the Braves. Not going to put that one on Freddie at all because I think is his agent Scott Boras, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put that one on Scott Boras. I like to put a lot of those things on Scott Boras as screwing up Major League Baseball and other sports.
Actually, I don't know if it is Scott Boras or not. I think that it is, but
they were pretty close when Braves had exclusive rights to him, weren't they?
I think so. And Scott Boras got like another few mil and was like not telling Freddie that the Braves were willing to match and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it was Scott Boras, yeah.
Yeah, he's one that I think the leagues need to come and look at on, you got to tell your client everything.
Yeah.
You can't editorialize what the guy is getting from each team. You need to give him the full shebang of it. And, that's an agent's job, though, is to let you know basically everything that's your options. At least I think that's what the agent would want to do. Yeah. If I was a major league player, if I'm in the radio industry and I'm on a nationally syndicated show, I'm probably going to have an agent doing stuff for me. And I want him to still tell me everything that's coming in. I don't care if I'm getting $10,000 less at one place, but I enjoy being there.
Yeah,
let me know. I might give up that $10,000 because if I go to another market, that $10,000 might be gone just into housing costs.
As that agent, where you're just getting a straight percentage of salary, you want your dudes to sign the biggest contracts ever,
of course.
You get a bigger check.
And then it also looks good on you, like, when you're trying to get the next guy to sign with you. Look, I just got this guy $500 million. But then again, it also can hurt you too when players look at it and go, yeah, but you got him $500 million, but he really wanted to stay there.
Yeah, you got him $500 million in Topeka.
Yeah, exactly. You got him $500 million in Los Angeles, so he's going to be losing a lot more of that into taxes than if you would have gotten $450 million in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, it's two-way street there, and, agents need to probably be looked at a little bit heavier than they are because they are now basically a very, very integral spot. I don't know English. Sorry, guys.
Well, at the end of the day, this move has worked out better for Freddie Freeman.
Oh,
anyways.
absolutely.
He's already got the ring. So if I'm a player, if I'm Freddie Freeman, then I made the right decision. So it is what it is. It might have been butchered, but the Braves still have a really good core on paper, and they're playing like this. So I'm confused as to Freddie Freeman was the leader, and I think that's what's been missing in the clubhouse is there's not one who steps up and says, this is, the Atlanta Braves way, and we're sticking to this. I don't think there's anyone who stands up. I think it's a lot of individual ball as well. Like, if you're Ronald Acuna Jr., are you happy that you're, hitting as good as you are? Or is it like, hey, guys, we got to get some wins together. We've got to string some wins together, and that takes a good bullpen. That takes good starting pitching. That takes good, smart base running. That takes great defense. That takes, you need to have the long ball, but you need to be getting on base as well.
Yeah.
It takes everything, and that's what the Dodgers do great.
Yeah, simple contact. I mean, if we go back like we talked about yesterday with the Braves, they're just not even getting the contact to the ball. You got to make contact with the ball to get on base. You don't have to make contact with the ball to get on base, but it helps because walks only get you one base at a time. Getting contact can get you 1 to 4 bases at a time, and you have to have that contact.
A walk puts no pressure on the defense. A ball in play puts pressure on the defense because I can't make that error. I've got to get the out.
Yeah. Yeah. And other baseball news last night, Jack Cagliano makes his Major League Baseball debut for the Kansas City Royals. Goes hitless, but has an excellent diving play to save some runs and getting out there in the 5th inning. So nice to see the Florida standout now making his Major League debuts. Jack Kirby, not Jack Kirby.
I don't know who
Kirby for the Mariners. Pitcher Kirby for the Mariners got comebacked last night. Had a 100-mile-an-hour fastball throwing. Ball came off the bat at 105. Got him right in the side of the face.
Oh, George Kirby.
George Kirby. That's it. Thank you very much, Dave. Yeah, it was one of those scary moments because, like, you just see him, like, he gets that last half a second look where he sees that ball coming at him and he just basically turns his head enough so instead of just taking the brunt right into the jaw, right into the teeth, he at least gets it off kind of to the side in the jaw. Was able to get off the field and is under his own power. So that's a great thing that he's hurt. Don't get me wrong. You get hit in the face with a ball that hard, you're hurting.
Well, according to him,
hurting.
He said didn't even hurt.
It didn't hurt, man.
Okay.
They pulled me. I didn't want to come out.
Had adrenaline, though.
Yeah, he didn't hurt last night. I bet he's hurting today.
Oh, yeah. That face probably looks like you got a chipmunk in there. Probably looks like the baseball's now embedded in the side of his jaw.
Teammates are looking for the word Rawlings.
Oh, I mean, that one, when I saw that, I was like, ooh, that is bad. So,
and it bounced right to the first baseman. Too,
bounced right to the first baseman. Guy still got on base, but at least it didn't turn into like a double or a weird triple or anything like that. But man,
did he? No, I think they got him.
They got him?
Yeah, it was a 1-3 put out.
1-3. Yeah, that's what it is. It touched the pitcher. You give him credit for touching the ball. It'll look like a little simple underhand in the book, but it's not.
It was 102.7 miles an hour right off of his face. Right over to the first baseman, and he picked it up. And
just how they drew it up.
Yeah. Fielder's choice, technically, though, because he could have went to second base to try to get the...
Could have gone to second. Could have, turned it and flipped it.
That's not a fielder's choice. That's a straight up out. Fielder's choice is when you get the lead runner.
You get the lead runner, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because it was the secondary runner there. So, yeah, hopefully he doesn't miss too much. I mean, he'll probably miss a start. I mean, if I'm the M's, I probably just throw him on the 10-day. Because really with the 10-day, IL, you're only missing one start as a starting pitcher because you can just kind of delay him for one day and you're just missing one start. So I would think, just as a precaution, just to let him kind of feel better after that, put him on the 10-day.
Speaking of weird outs, did you guys see that Tigers play the other day where the pop up to the catcher?
Oh, catcher fumbled it
to the third baseman.
Third baseman got it.
Oh, the foul ball?
Yeah.
What was that, Minas?
It was the Tigers.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was Tigers,
Yeah, 2-5 in the playbook. 2-5 foul ball. You don't
Never seen a 2-5 pop out.
You don't see those very often, especially a foul ball. You really don't see too many, but when you do see it, it's usually a 2 and a something else because that catcher's mitt really not the best for catching a pop fly. Totally great for catching a fastball, though. So, yeah, it's the world of sports, the wide world of sports right here. But coming up next, we are going to be talking Lord Stanley and his cup. We'll give previews, we'll give predictions, and you guys are listening to the Inside Drive, sponsored by Golf Plus. Be right back.
Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
Which member of our show would be most likely to chew on bark?
Definitely me.
Like by accident? Or you're like, hey, I'll try any food anytime. Bark's not food.
If you told me it's good for digestion.
You would do it?
Yeah, I love a health trend. I love a cleanse.
Bark?
You've seen all my adaptogens at my desk?
Bark.
I try it.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Woo! Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Wednesday. For this afternoon and evening, sprinkles and a high of 81 with a gentle breeze around 10 miles per hour coming out of the south-southeast. Tonight, very light showers with lows around 76. Tomorrow, a likelihood of thunderstorms and a temperature near 85. Moving into Friday, about the same with a high of 86 and a variety of mostly sunshine and possible thunderstorms. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, where the locals go for the best boiled seafood around. Crawfish, shrimp, red broils, and everything crabs. Watch almost every sporting event in the country on their huge outdoor jumbotron. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on weekly events, live music, and food and beer specials. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, your home away from home for sports, good times, and great food. The best boiled seafood. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
Whether you're an experienced investor or first-time buyer, Beach House will provide you with top-notch service to guide you through every step of the process. We make the real estate process fun and easy through effective marketing, strategic advertising, and always a client-focused experience. From single-family homes to full-scale developments, Beach House Sales Development has you covered. Check them out at beachhousesalesfl.com or give them a call at 850-919-3500.
Broadcasting from the Gulf Plus studios, it's the Inside Drive. Join the best of day winning Inside Drive with all your lines, props, and covers. Winning on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. This is the Inside Drive, sponsored by Golf Plus. And all my golfers out there listening, be sure to go visit Golf Plus for all of your golfing needs. They can take care of you. Shops at Edgewater and also in Dothan, Alabama, just right off of Montgomery Highway. Go visit Alan. Get whatever gear you need.
Did you get your driver putter?
I have not gotten my driver putter yet. I got to get my driver putter, then I can get my chipper putter, and then I got all the clubs that I need for the bag.
Chipper putter will be a lot easier to come by than your driver putter, but we're getting that custom made for you.
We'll get it done, guys. We'll get it done, and we'll bring it right in here.
Driver putter.
Right on, right here, ESPN Northwest Florida, driver putters extraordinaire. Call the show, text the show, 850-215-6290, and we are the home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast. Next Braves game will be this evening. Pre-game festivities, 6 o'clock. First pitch, 6:15 against those Diamondbacks. Hopefully the Braves can make a comeback, get that big W, and start heading into the right direction instead of getting more L's. Let's throw up some dubs, guys. We need some more wins. We got Ronnie back. Why ain't we winning with Ronnie back? He's been playing good. Strider didn't look all that good last night.
No, and he was, I was just going to say, he got Strider back, and he was on the hill last night.
I know, it's one of those. It's like, what?
It's sad.
You're looking at it and you're just like, well, what can we do, boys? We need some changes. Changes for the good and not the bad.
As a Brewer fan, Brandon Woodruff got hit by a line drive in AAA last night, so that'll
slow you down.
He's now not coming back anytime soon.
Streaks and injuries, man. Streaks and injuries. Let's tune our attention over to the Stanley Cup Finals. That will be taking place tonight. Game number 1, 7 o'clock local time. And we see that the Oilers will be taking on the Panthers. Second time in a row that we will be seeing this. Last year, a super exciting series. Panthers came out with the 3-0 lead in the series. Then Edmonton runs off 3 wins in a row. Then we go to Game 7. And what do we need for Game 7?
Overtime.
Overtime. Oh, talk about the best way to end a season. That kind of drama. Ooh, I live for it. I was sweating, though, because I was pulling for the Panthers. I wanted it to be a 4-game sweep so the Edmonton Oilers could just go back home. But no, man, those 3 losses in a row, and when they made it to Game 7, I was like, ooh, this is either going to be really close and the Panthers are going to win, or the Oilers are going to come in here and score like 6 and the Panthers aren't going to get anything. And once that they got through that first period at a tie 1-1, I was like, this is it. They're going to pull through with it. And once it got to overtime, hard to breathe because you were just sitting there staring and not thinking about anything else.
It's a good thing they were monitoring your blood pressure.
I love it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, so what do we have for this one? So let's look.
This one starts in Canada.
This one will start in Edmonton this year. That was the better ranked team, or had the better, not better ranked team, had the better win-loss record, had more points. So therefore, they get to
so
host.
It still goes off points?
Yeah, it goes off points.
It's not Eastern, Western,
yeah, no, it goes off
baseball
points.
used to do back in the day?
No, it goes off points. The better team gets the home advantage. So that's the way it should be. Absolutely the way it should be. You should be rewarded for having the better season. 100% agree.
Did you hear that, Bud Selig? The best team hosts the Super World Series. Not whoever wins the All-Star break, not alternate American League, National League. Better team hosts.
I like that. That's what it should be. I mean, reward teams for playing well.
I think that's the dumbest rule I've ever heard of, is whoever wins the All-Star game hosts.
I hated that.
I loved it.
That was so dumb.
I loved it.
So dumb.
I'm I'm in a different mindset on y'all with it. I like the best record gets the World Series. I'm 100% content with that. I'm just saying that I don't mind there being an incentive with the All-Star game. It's one of the best All-Star games. It's up there with the NHL. But when there was that onus on it, I liked it because you got the American League players and the National League players to band together to do something for their league.
Yeah, I mean, the All-Star game is really the only athletic event where the name on the back means more than the name on the front. Showcase yourself.
Yeah, it is a showcase. But the thing is, to me, it's a showcase.
Yeah, it's an exhibition.
It's an exhibition game. I don't want it to count for anything.
Yeah, that's fair, and it's not counting for anything.
Yeah,
and
it's
it
not
hasn't
anymore.
for a while.
It hasn't for a while.
It didn't bother me at all when they did that, though.
I didn't really care for it, but it's gone now, so we ain't got to worry about it. Now, we can fix the NHL and NBA, All-Star games, I think, but the leagues don't want to hear about that, so
I kind of like the Kobe rule in the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah, but they got rid of that last year.
Yeah, they got rid of it.
Yeah, they went to like
first team to 40.
Yeah, and it was like a little 4-team tournament.
I do remember that.
Yeah, don't care, don't like.
Nope, hate it.
Not basketball.
They're going to change it up again this year, so
and they'll
I don't
do something
know
even worse. I know.
Maybe so. It could possibly be in the right direction, but it won't be fixed. I mean, and that's the thing is when you appreciate the fact that it's just a showcase of the best athletes, and it's an opportunity for the fans to get closer to all of the best athletes across the sport in one arena, then you can give it more leeway and more appreciation and more gratitude, which will change your attitude towards the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not that in the NFL, like the Pro Bowl, it's not going to be the same competitive product on the field that it is.
No,
especially with the NFL and the Pro Bowl, you won't see it, and you shouldn't, because you don't want those guys going out there knocking each other's heads off.
Yeah, you don't want to go out there and get your head knocked off and lose possibly $100 million.
All right, back into the NHL playoffs. So the Oilers, we'll discuss each team. We'll start off with the Edmonton Oilers. Streaky team through this playoffs. They're either a team that's going out and getting 5 or 6 goals in a night, or it's a team that is going out and just laying a goose egg and not getting a single goal into the net. They've had at least one game in each of the previous series leading up into this where they just totally went out and just rolled over and died even before the puck got dropped. And then they've had at least 2 games in each series where they got total shutouts of the other team. So it's a very Jekyll and Hyde situation here with the Oilers.
That's what I liked about that Edmonton-Vegas series is you never knew which team either side of the ice would come out. Either Vegas comes out and completely dominates and wins like 12-1, or Edmonton comes out, completely dominates, and allows Vegas to shoot the puck 4 times.
Yeah. Now, the big issue that I am seeing with the Oilers right now.
Defense?
No, even bigger than that one. Their penalty kill is only coming in at a 66%. That is incredibly low.
Yeah.
And that is going to be a problem because the Panthers are coming out and scoring on their power play opportunities at somewhere near a 30% rate. So they need to stay out of the box. That's going to be a big problem with it. Another thing is Zach Hyman going out in Game 4 against Dallas has been ruled out of the Stanley Cup Finals. That is a big physical guy that they have just lost. Was second in goals for him this playoffs, was first in goals for him last year in the playoffs. So that is a big name that they are missing, that they will not get even if this thing goes 2-7. So what they really got to do is they got to make those correct adjustments to the team and the top 6 to make sure that they still, 1, can be physical enough to keep up with the Panthers, and 2, able to have those scoring streaks that they need to have, because the Oilers are a team that has to score a bunch to win.
So talk to me real quick about power plays. I would think it'd be more of an advantage, easier to score when you have the extra man on the ice.
Yes.
Why is it only like a 30% good and it's easier to not score than it is to score?
I mean, the power play, a 30% power play is pretty high, because usually if you're going to look at it, most of the league is running somewhere around a 20% when you're on the man advantage. So, and if you look at, time of possession on power play advantages, you'll see that the puck is almost always in the attack zone and will only come out on a clear. And so it just gives you more time to get down there. And you do get more goals if you look at total time that's spent on a power play versus if you look at total time that you spend not on a power play during a regular season. You will still see more goals. You should see more goals being scored in those minutes. If you want to take it and say, you're on a power play for a full game for 60 minutes, you will see more scoring there than you will see versus a 5-on-5. Now, that's not always the case, because there's some teams out there, like my Nashville Predators a few years ago were running around like 11%, which is just awful.
I still think, just as a very casual fan, I would feel like it's closer to a 50-50 advantage to have the extra player. But is it the numbers below 50% or below 30%? Is it because the shorthanded defense just tightens up around the net?
It's hockey, so it's an incredibly hard sport to get a lot of goals in. Similar to soccer, you just don't see a lot of scoring. So it does give you the advantage, but the thing is like when they are on the PK, they're not concentrating on offense usually. They are almost exclusively concentrating on a defense, and it's almost, if you look, they're playing from the half boards in, and they're almost playing from the dots in. So everybody is just kind of tightened into that spot. So you're keeping the puck out of what they call the danger zone, keeping it out of the slot, and you're forcing it more towards the outsides.
Okay.
And so you're going to see some shots coming in. You'll see more shots usually coming in on a power play, and those shots usually are coming from a point man, and it's not the point man's job to really get the puck in the net. His job is to get the puck towards the net and allow for either a deflection or just chaos to happen.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that makes more sense.
So that's why you will see you don't see really high scoring rates, because you don't see the same kind of defense you will on a 5-on-5, because basically for that 2 minutes, you're just going, okay, for this 2 minutes, we're not worried about offense. We're not worried about getting a shot on the net.
All right.
Sorry about that. Got a cough on a minute. All right, guys, let's move on into the Panthers. The Panthers, their big key, depth. Lots and lots of depth. 19 of the 23 players that they have had playing in the playoffs this year have a goal. And you got to understand, 2 of those 23 guys are goalies. So 21 out of 19 guys that they have had make a playoff appearance this year, puck to the net. That is an incredible amount of depth. You usually see teams having like 12 and 13. I do believe the Oilers are up there too, but it's only like 14, and they've had 25 guys. So again, depth there for the Panthers, I think, will be a big push. We saw them bring in Marchand, and I think that is a huge push for them. The Panthers also have the best penalty kill right now in the Stanley Cup playoffs, killing penalties at a rate of 88%. That is huge, especially when you go up and you look at the Oilers and 66%. So they are keeping the puck out of the net on the PK, and usually during the season, an average is somewhere around 70. So they're 18 points, up 18 points,
That's elite.
Which is great. Now, the problem the Panthers did have, and this was most evident to me in the Toronto series. They have problems slowing down the rush. When teams are bringing the puck in quick, usually, doing like a blue line, pass to the middle, Panthers are mostly crashing, I think, a little bit too hard towards the puck, leaving the middle open, and it's allowing guys to just cut on into the middle. That is something that they need to work on, is just slowing the rush down. I don't know if they want to get away from the neutral zone trap that they're running and more to a man-on-man to maybe slow it down, but the Oilers have such speed that I don't know if the Panthers have that same kind of speed that they can keep up with, so they might just be forced into playing that neutral zone trap to, when it is to the outside, slowing it down and keeping the Oilers from having the puck in the zone for too long. And it also keeps, a lot of dump and chases out. So you do get rid of some speed that way. But another thing that the Panthers are having a problem with right now is turnovers. They're averaging 13 turnovers in a game. That is the highest of this NHL playoffs right now. So they got to hold on to that puck when they get it. Now, the Panthers, I think, have the better goaltending coming into this series. With Bobrovsky back there, Bobrovsky didn't have the greatest first round against the Lightning. It was okay. He was around a 2.5 goals against average, had a save percentage around an .880. That's fine, Okay, that's fine. That's doable. That's serviceable. But since then, he's had goals against average at 2 to sub 2, and he has had a save percentage over .920. So he has had something just click for those last 2 rounds of the playoffs, and if he can keep that rolling, be very hard for the Oilers to score against him. Now, the Panthers do need to stay out of the box, because of the Oilers and their ability to score on the power play. The Oilers' power play is running somewhere around a 30% as well. So they are scoring on the power play, but the Oilers are built to do that. The Oilers are definitely built to be a top 6 team, definitely built to have that speed rush, especially when they have the extra man out on the ice. Now, my player to watch for the Oilers, the player that I think can make the most difference in the series to them, is going to be Leon Draisaitl, not Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid, great. Leon Draisaitl is the driver of that offense. He is the one that either sets up McDavid or McDavid sets up him. They're not always on the same line together, but at times when they need a goal, they will put those two together, and I do believe that it's Draisaitl that is more of the driving force there. And I couldn't make up my mind for the Panthers if I wanted to say Bobrovsky was going to be the bigger impact or Alexander Barkov. Because Barkov did just win the Selke Trophy, which goes to the best defenseman in the NHL, and he won it last year, and he has been totally shut down back there. So I say those two as a tandem is going to be the best thing that the Panthers can have to slow down that Oiler team. And I am going to say it right here, right now, Panthers in 6.
Ooh, Panthers in 6.
Panthers in 6.
Okay, I like it.
You guys want to take a guess at it?
I said Panthers in 7 on the afternoon underdogs yesterday, but then I realized Game 7 is going to be up in Edmonton.
Yep, it will be in Edmonton.
Swings that very much towards Edmonton. So I got to go Panthers in 6, so they went in on their home ice and don't have to worry about that Game 7 on the road, 7 million miles away from Florida.
About as far apart as you can get. Dave, who you got?
I'm going to go, I think they're going to split the first 4 and, split in Florida or split in Edmonton, split in Florida. I'll go 7, and I'll go Edmonton in 7.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I like it.
I don't want to see the Panthers get back-to-back.
I do. I just don't want to see Edmonton win.
I get that. I think that my dislike for the Panthers and seeing them do what the Tampa Bay Lightning just got done doing with their back-to-backs, I would rather see the country of Canada return not to its rightful place, but to a place of prominence. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, for me, it's I'm just not a fan of the Oilers, and it's mostly for the same reason I'm not a fan of the Maple Leafs. It's because of their fans. Just cannot stand them. They're like Yankees fans. They're like Cowboys fans.
Yeah.
They think they're God's gift, and we got the best team. And it's like, yeah, you guys were great back in the 80s. Go away.
They were stellar back in the 80s with Gretzky.
Yeah, they were. And the Cowboys were great back in the 70s and 90s, but what are they now? Exactly. Nobody can say nothing about.
Oh, they say everything about them Cowboys. Every day.
Jerry. All right, guys. Coming up next is not the afternoon, but we'll call it the late morning delight. You are tuned in to the Inside Drive, sponsored by Golf Plus, right here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Well, I'm sitting in a corner in Waycross, Georgia. It's such a fine sight to see.
That's great.
It's the Feinbaum Show, and Paul's on a roll right here on my TV. Come on, Paul. Come on, Paul.
Paul Feinbaum, weeknights, 6 to 10 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Tired of flipping through channels and finding nothing good? Introducing Scorpion TV. Over 5,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch 400 local network channels from Panama City and most markets throughout the country. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. It's more than sports. Scorpion TV offers premium movie channels like HBO, Cinemax, Stars, 200 plus entertainment and news networks, or watch thousands of movies on demand, all for just $45 a month when you use the ESPN NW promo code at checkout. Watch on up to 5 devices at the same time. Perfect for sharing with family and friends. Scorpion TV gives you everything you want for less. Cut the cord, not the fun. To score Scorpion TV, go to ESPNPC.com and click on the Scorpion TV logo. Don't forget our promo code ESPN NW.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? We can typically replace them while you wait. Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? In many cases, we can have it back to you the next day. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, just south of Tractor Supply. The best place in town to take a leak.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Gulf Plus studios. From the beach to the bay to the backyard, it's the Inside Drive.
I've got sand in my underpants.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are tuned in to the Inside Drive right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. The show is sponsored by Golf Plus, so all of our golfing fans out there listening to the Inside Drive, go visit Alan Watson at Golf Plus, and they will take care of everything that you need. Best of Bay Listener's Choice going on right now, and we have 2 shows right here in-house on the Best of Bay list. We got the Coach James Hale Show, and we have the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey, and you can go to ESPNPC.com and you can vote for Coach James Hale, or you can get out there and vote for Ryan Mulvey as the best radio personality of Bay County for Best of Bay. We need your votes, and thank you so much for listening to ESPN 104.3 right here in Northwest Florida. You can call the show, you can text the show 850-215-6290, and we will have our great friend of the show, Keith Fleming, on at the noon o'clock hour. So we will move the afternoon delight up from noon to 11:40 and have a little bit of a late morning delight. And I will go ahead and get the delight started with this lovely little number.
1, 2,
So, Best of Bay, vote twice. Vote for James Hale and the afternoon, or the Inside Drive.
There you go.
Yeah, you can't vote for the afternoon underdogs.
Yeah.
You can write it in. Right.
No. That's for the, what do you call it? The process when you nominate.
Oh, yeah, the nomination
We're
process.
past that.
Right in.
Let's go Coach Hale and Ryan Mulvey.
Let's
I think
keep that trophy in-house.
Voting should start in a couple days.
Yeah, voting starts June 6th. So be watching for it, guys, and download the app just to make it even easier for you to vote. All right, news. A North Carolina mom is accused of attacking a middle school principal and superintendent, grabbing one of the administrators by the neck and nearly choking her during a meeting at the school to discuss her daughter's involvement in a fight. Maria Hector, 33, was arrested and charged with assaulting a school employee and second-degree trespassing. She was released on bond, WBTV reported. Hector and other family members were called to the Randolph Middle School in Charlotte on May 5th after her daughter was involved in a fight, according to the affidavit. While at school, Hector reportedly became hostile and was asked to leave. Instead, Hector pushed back the employee and shoved the school's principal, Jennifer Shondwell, into a wall. Hector then grabbed Assistant Superintendent Jennifer Dean with both hands around her neck and attempted to choke her, according to police. Dean did not lose consciousness, but had a difficult time breathing and visible signs of injury around her neck, police said. The school was then placed on lockdown as Hector was taken into custody. Another person, 20-year-old Trinity Nixon, was also charged with second-degree trespassing during the incident, according to court records. According to the arrest affidavit, Nixon entered the school after being told not to by an employee. She was then accused of cursing and yelling once inside the building. The school's principal, Schroeder, was suspended with pay for just 2 weeks after the alleged assault, according to the report. It was not immediately clear whether the altercation was related to her suspension. In a message sent to families, the district said Schroeder would be away from campus at this time, but they would, quote, cannot provide information on the reason for the principal's absence, as this is a personal issue. All right, anybody, you guys, the lights, anybody?
I've got one from a little while ago.
Take it, Chef.
Colorado Rockies fan Timothy Reckall has filed a lawsuit against the team after being hit in the face by a foul ball at Coors Field in 2023. Reckall alleges that the team's poor performance and design flaws at the stadium led to his injuries. He claims that the team failed to adequately extend the netting and that the design of the luxury boxes, including architectural elements like an overhang, obstructed his view. The lawsuit also argues that the team's poor play contributed to less engaged game day environment where fans are less focused on the action on the field. Reckall is seeking damages for his permanent implants and economic loss.
There we go. Keep your eye on the ball, right?
Even if your team sucks.
Yeah, keep your eye on the ball. That's what the coach always told me.
So just looking up, it's not an afternoon delight debrief, but the starting pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers is D.L. Hall. I don't know why you would have your first name D.L., disabled list, but it's the Brewers pitchers.
It's the Brewers pitching staff, so
I'm sure
that's where
the
most
D
of
and
them
the L
are.
stand for something.
Yeah, Darren Lively, Derek Lee, something like that.
What's his last name?
Hall.
Because, like C.D. Lamb, that's not, his name is C something, D something. It's not.
Oh, I thought his name was actually C-E-E.
Yeah, because it's C-E-D-E, so that's why I thought his name was C.D.
Right,
Lamb.
yeah, no, me and Caveman Rick were having a conversation about that. Then I Wikipedia'd it or whatever and figured that out.
All right, another good afternoon.
Dayton Lane Hall is his name. Dayton Lane, daggum, but y'all call me DL for short. I tell you what.
I tell you what. I'll tell you what, boy.
He's from Valdosta, Georgia.
That does not surprise me a bit with a name like that.
No, absolutely
not a bit. All right, a woman in China ordered 1,000 kilograms of onions to be delivered to her ex-boyfriend with a note that read, "I cried for 3 days. Now it's your turn." The woman, surnamed Zhao, told reporters she found out that he had been cheating on her after taking a look at his mobile phone. After breaking up, Zhao said she was utterly miserable and cried for days, whereas he continued to enjoy life without a trace of sadness or remorse. Finding this unfair, she decided to give him a taste of his own medicine, in this case, bucket loads of tears via a ton of onions dumped right onto his doorstep in Shandong on May 16th. Well, it turned out that Zhao's ex-boyfriend did not just cry, he even resold the onions, making more than 1,000 yen. Talk about turning the tide.
Entrepreneurship at its best.
Despite this, she did almost make someone cry. The delivery man looked like he wanted to cry and was on the brink of tears as he stared at the mountain of onions in his truck when he arrived at the destination. The poor man said in a local interview that he had to make nearly 50 trips for at least 5 hours to move all of the product from the truck onto the porch of ex-boyfriend of Zhao.
That story is an onion inside of itself, all the layers that you have to pull back there.
Love that. Love that. Ross, you got another one for us? If not, I got one.
I have one over here from UPI yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before, June 2nd. An 11-year-old Michigan girl vacationing with her family in Florida found a message in a bottle that had purportedly been thrown into the ocean 8 years earlier in Hawaii. Hockwell, Michigan resident Josie Law, who's 11, was on Florida's Anna Maria Island when she spotted the bottle in the surf. She said, "I was just walking and the waves were coming up and it was washing on shore. The wave went like a crash into each other and went back. So then I grabbed it really quickly and I showed my mom. The bottle contained a small note reading, 'Hello, people who found this. You will be happy that you found this. Why? Because you will know me with this number.' Law's mother, Paris Hoisington, sent a text message to the phone number included in the note. She soon received a response from a 21-year-old Hawaii woman who told her she and her brother had thrown the bottle into the ocean off of Oahu 8 years earlier. And I said, 'You're kidding,' Hoisington, which was the mom there. The note's author, who did not want to be identified, said she was 13 when she and her brother had the idea. Bobby Deskins, chief meteorologist for WTSP TV, said that while it seems unlikely that the bottle floated all the way from Hawaii to Florida, it is technically possible. Everyone has their own theories, but Mother Nature is the only one to count for this, because without her, I don't think it would have traveled that far."
Yeah, it's amazing.
Message in a bottle.
It's amazing. Those things can get places like back in, I want to say, like the late 90s, early 2000s, a container ship lost one of those cargo, big old cargo boxes and fell into the Pacific Ocean filled with little rubber duckies. And even those rubber duckies were like turning up in places like Ireland and Africa.
Also, I saw the video of this, and we always talk about animals, primarily kangaroos here on the show, but here's one that got loose that you're not necessarily used to. Authorities in Tennessee are searching for a pet zebra that escaped from its owner's home and went for a run on the highway. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office said on social media that the zebra arrived at its new home Friday and escaped less than 24 hours later. The striped equine caused chaos on Interstate 24 near Joe B. Jackson Parkway in Rutherford County, where it was seen running through traffic on both sides of the highway. Deputies closed the interstate in both directions, but the zebra escaped into a nearby wooded area. The search for the zebra continued Sunday, but the animal remained unaccounted for Monday morning. Zebras are legal to be kept as pets in Tennessee without any special permits. So there you go. You can keep your zebra. I mean, that would be a pretty wild animal to have, right?
Equus africanus.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome to go to the pet store and buy a zebra.
There you go. Or you probably buy it from a guy like James somewhere.
Yeah, you can go find them. I know there's places around Florida that sell them. I don't have any personally because they're a little more wilder than, like your regular horses that you got around or your donkeys, things like that.
They're
so
like
that's why
right
I don't
in between.
really got them.
Are they like right? Are they kind of like a mule, like the mix of a donkey and a horse?
No, they're way less tame than that. They
not
just
tame.
don't
I'm saying
have that.
Size-wise.
Size-wise, they're like a large horse.
Okay.
They're not huge. They're not going to be like a jack mule size. Those things are massive. They're going to be like, like a good quarter horse thoroughbred size type thing, somewhere between those. So they're big animals, don't get me wrong. They're just not huge. But cool animals. I've been around a couple of them. And
they're more, again, this is AI. So I trust James's word more on this. But AI does say zebras are more closely related to donkeys than horses.
Yep. Still equus.
Yeah.
Yep. So still kind of a donkey-ish, horse-ish type thing. Lovely, lovely stripes, though. Apparently the stripes help with keeping the bugs down, is what I saw in a study recently. They were like, well, why are they striped like that? And apparently some of the yellow flies don't see the pattern too well, so they don't land on the zebras like they do some of the other animals.
I thought it was when they were running in packs to blend in better.
Yeah, that could be, too. Yeah, I mean, Tigers.
Tiger or Lions just chasing the great big old black and white thingy compared to one little animal.
Yeah, and you don't know which one you're going after because they all kind of look the same. I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, and tiger stripes too, orange and black. But if you're colorblind, it just looks like nothing. That's why I think the orange and black on the Tigers are looking like that. What are you laughing at, Dave?
I'm over here looking at zebras. I want to give you a zebra now.
David's pricing zebras.
We'll get zebra, and we'll get Dave a zebra, and he'll store it in his apartment.
What are you naming your zebra?
Probably Big Z.
Big Z.
I like it. We got Big Z. Well, it is the end of the hour. When we get back, good friend, great friend of the show, Keith Fleming will be joining us. We'll be talking some golf. We'll be talking some fantasy football. You are listening to the Inside Drive right here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
The ride home just got more dangerous. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your spot for the afternoon underdogs.
One of the more underrated. Fast as lightning. You know that he's got perseverance.
Weekdays 4 to 6 live from the CBC Construction Studio. Reactions, rants, and your calls at 850-215-6290. The afternoon underdogs are live and local. Weekdays on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Wednesday. For this afternoon and evening, sprinkles and a high of 81 with a gentle breeze around 10 miles per hour coming out of the south-southeast. Tonight, very light showers with lows around 76. Tomorrow, a likelihood of thunderstorms and a temperature near 85. Moving into Friday, about the same with a high of 86 and a variety of mostly sunshine and possible thunderstorms. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hewitt Tire and Auto. Call 850-769-7323.
Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Need a tow? Call Billy at Hometown Towing, 850-265-1562.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Experience a higher level of service. David Adamson Designer Jewelry has been providing you the very best of fine jewelry and repair in Lynn Haven for over 32 years. David has added Amber Anderson and Russ Clare, names you've known and trusted in PCB for years with your fine jewelry and watch needs. Find that one-of-a-kind engagement ring, that special anniversary gift, or something colorful just for you. Amber and Russ will find it or build it for you, serving Bay County and beyond in Lynn Haven at the corner of Ohio Avenue and 9th. David Adamson Designer Jewelry.
Broadcasting from the Gulf Plus Studios. It's the Inside Drive. And now, the afternoon delight debrief with the three degenerates from the Inside Drive.
Afternoon delight.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. This is the Inside Drive, sponsored by Golf Plus. James Fife here, filling in for Ryan Mulvey on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Hanging out with us today, we got Chef Ross and we have David Hayes making everything happen behind the glass. Thank you guys coming in, hanging out, and thank all of you out there for listening to us here on ESPN 104.3. Braves coverage tonight. Braves coverage will begin at 6 for the pregame festivities after the afternoon underdogs, and first pitch against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona? Where's that? I have no idea.
It's right in Arizona.
Arizona Diamondbacks, 6:15 here on ESPN 104.3. You can call the show. You can text the show, 850-215-6290. And we'll head over to the phone lines with our great friend of the show, Mr. Keith Fleming. Mr. Fleming, how is this Wednesday treating you?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
I am having an absolutely wonderful day, man. Beautiful sunny day outside, and I am inside on the radio. Could not be happier.
Yeah, there's worse places to be for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with that one. So let's go ahead and we'll start off with some golf while we have you on the line. And I have been looking at Scotty Scheffler this year, and he has been just on fire. 3 wins this year, a 2nd place, a 3rd place, 2 4th places, an 8th place, and a 9th place. That means he's got 7 top 5s, 9 top 10s, and he has only been in 12 tournaments.
Most importantly, 0 arrests.
Yeah, 0 arrests so far this year. And at the CJ Cup, at the Byron Nelson, a negative 31 for that tournament. That is some crazy, crazy numbers, man. Keith, tell me how great Scotty Scheffler really is.
We don't deserve the things we get, and we don't appreciate them. And that is where I think the sports world and even most golf fans are with Scotty Scheffler. I think you did a great job kind of teeing it up there. But don't forget, this is coming off a year where he won 10 times, including another major, one at Augusta. Again, he won the Olympic gold with a huge comeback during the final round. He's just was on top of the world, and then had a freak injury where he cut his hand, had to have surgery, and the season for him started slowly. And remember, Rory won 3 times. He completed the Grand Slam, and all of a sudden people were sort of doubting, was Scotty Scheffler still the guy that had basically dominated the tour the last 2 years? And Rory has teed it up once since the Masters. In that time, Scotty Scheffler has 3 wins. And he's just back to, in my opinion, the best player we've seen since Tiger Woods. And I would put him right there with Jack and Tiger. Like, I think that is the kind of, like, trajectory we're on here. I mean, there's 3 guys in the history of the game with 15 wins, 3 majors by the time or before their 29th birthday. It's those 3 guys. Tiger, Jack, Scheffler, and what makes it so great about Scotty is, like, nobody described Jack or Tiger as friendly guys. Jack was very surly. Tiger had a killer instinct, and Scotty's killing with kindness. So to me, it's fascinating to see somebody beat the brains out of everybody he tees it up with week in and week out, and he seems like legit the nicest guy in the world. Like, I think last year's arrest really opened a lot of people's eyes to just the way he handled it with such class and dignity. He refused to sue the police department. Like, just, I mean, how many people do you know are professional athletes would handle something that way? And I just think we're all very fortunate to be in this era because the dude is unbelievable.
He is doing great, and like you say, only 28 years old, so we can expect, I would say, many more years, if not another good decade of this.
So do you think that he can have the same run that Tiger had in the late 90s, early 2000s, or is the rest of the field that much better than the rest of the field against Tiger?
That's the thing. And again, I'm the biggest Tiger mark in the history of mankind. You will never hear me say something disparaging about Tiger Woods, but one thing I've always said is that his 15 majors are more impressive than Jack's 18, and that is not a knock against Jack Nicklaus, who is unquestionably, like him and Tiger, are the 2 greatest golfers to ever play the game. But Jack did it really without a world and global game. That really started in the 90s, really took off in the 2000s, and I think now tours are way deeper, even with the live defections, than at any point in Tiger's career, Jack's career, just making it more impressive. So we have to be realistic, but I mean, I do think he could get to 9, 10 majors, which in the modern era, I would probably argue that's as impressive as Tiger's 15. So it's going to be fun to watch. I just can't get over how much better he is than everybody because, I mean, last week was another example. He was almost dead last in the field in putting, yet still won the tournament going away. And his chipping's so good, he led the field in scrambling despite making putts at a lower rate than basically anybody in the field.
Crazy, crazy. So he had the gold in the last Olympics, and they have announced that the 2028 Olympics will also be having golf think he's got a good chance to gold again?
I mean, I don't see why not. This is another one of my favorite little tidbits about Scotty Scheffler was going into the Olympics. The Golf Channel did a deal with every male player in the field. And it was almost like, one of those school moniker days where, like, the first day of school or the last day where it has, like, your name, your country. And then my favorite thing was gold. And every single player had won a gold medal except for Scotty Scheffler, who said, have fun. And he looked like he had a lot of fun winning the gold medal, coming from behind, and just like, I'm really at all, he seems extremely genuine, which in this day and age is really rare from professional athletes.
So do you think that could be his key to being such a great golfer, is he's just having fun? Just there's no stress because he's just having a great time?
I mean, that might be why he's hitting the ball the way he is, but I cannot emphasize enough how much better he is than every other professional golfer tee to green. And it's not even close. Like next time you're watching the coverage, watch him off the tee. They're doing a really good job now of showing the target of where players are wanting to hit their drives. And I mean, Scheffler is just shaped right toward that line almost 80-90% of the time. He's so good from 150 and 200 yards and further out, like way better than any other player on tour. And he does it every week. Last night I had a friend on the show, the Model Maniac, who is a big stats guy, and he was talking about Scheffler's worst, like, tee to green number for the last 2 years is better than like 90% of the guys on the PGA Tour. And I'm talking about 90% of their best tournament tee to green. So that's how much better he is at just hitting the ball where he wants to, over almost like a robot. And remember, he does not have a traditional swing. He's got the footwork that, it was such a big deal when it started, but I think it's just, he feels things. He talks about it all the time. His swing is about feel. He relies on his hands, and I think that's why it's so repeatable, but he's just so much better. Whether you're looking at analytics, just seeing what he's doing, winning tournaments by multiple shots, than any other player playing golf right now. And I think he's, got more of a stranglehold on his sport than any other athlete in any other sport at this moment.
So is his stance swing something that you would want to teach, young and upcoming golfers to do, or is it just something uniquely his?
I mean, I doubt that there's very many teaching professionals that would go out on a limb before you had a Scotty Scheffler and say that they would teach someone to move their feet the way he does. But it really does make sense, because if you really think about it, and this is something that Jay Henley, friend of the show, was really great of explaining when I've taken lessons from him and stuff, is it's all about getting the club face square at impact, right? That's really what the golf swing is about. And however you can get there the most times, repeatably is the okay to do. Like, even if it is unique or it's your own thing. And I mean, we saw his frustration last year at Pinehurst, when that's a course that you can hit a ball in the same spot twice. One time it will go right down the fairway. The next time it'll kick right into a waste bunker and you're basically dead. He hated it there, made it very clear. And then we saw at the PGA Championship, which he of course won, the first round there was some controversy for them not playing lift clean in place. And Scheffler was pretty frustrated about the mud on his ball, because he said, I've spent my entire life perfecting hitting this golf ball as straight as possible, and now I just hit a very straight drive, and you're telling me that I have to bring in this other factor that I shouldn't have to contend with to figure out where it's going. So, I mean, he just knows how to play the game, and he's just so much better than everybody. And he's gotten better at putting, which is why, goodness gracious, he keeps putting the way he has this year. We haven't even seen the best of Scheffler. He was 160th in putting 2 years ago. He was 65th last year. He's 17th on tour right now. That is, in the words of my good buddy Billy Madison, now you're all in big, big trouble. Because if he's making putts, it's over.
Hey, Keith. Let me do my best, Jay Henley, here, to try to throw you off the curveball a little bit. I just watched Tin Cup the other night. Haven't seen it in 20 years. Forgot how great of a movie it really is.
Amazing movie.
But have you witnessed any caddy meltdowns that happened while Tin Cup was trying to qualify for the Open, or better yet, somebody in a golf tournament not going to the drop zone after hitting the ball in the water?
Well, the closest thing I can think of for the Tin Cup on 18 is Sean Vandeveld at the Open in the late 90s, where he literally went to the last hole needing to make double to win the tournament, and then made one of the weirdest sevens you've ever seen, which was 15 of the greatest golf television minutes I've ever seen in my life, because you're just going, what is this dude doing? He just kept making bad decision after bad decision. The caddy stuff, I don't think I can remember of any instances, but I know for a fact that Jordan Spieth and his caddy, Mike Geller, they have a very close relationship, and they will bicker and really argue on the course, which you do not see most caddies and golfers do.
Yeah, I guess we can throw Max Homa on Monday in the U.S. Open qualifier, kind of in that, where he just had to carry his own bag because he fired his caddy a couple weeks ago.
That is definitely an example. But, that was also, I think, a deal where if you look, his caddy ended up immediately kind of moving to a better golfer, and it's hard to believe that probably wasn't already in the cards, and, Homa found out about it and did what he did.
Yeah, this was a second caddy, though, recently, wasn't it? Because I believe him and his longtime caddy parted before the Masters.
All right, maybe I missed this then.
But I read it on the Score the other day because I saw the headline that Max Homa had to carry his own bag for 36 holes. I think it ended up being 38 because he missed a 5-foot putt to qualify.
Oh, you're talking about the U.S. Open qualifier.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
And in that article, it said that he lost him and his long-term caddy of however many years it was, parted ways earlier in the season. I want to say it was before the Masters. And then he just got this caddy and fired him 2 weeks ago.
And it's weird because Homa seems to be one of the nicest guys in golf, but he's also searching. This is a guy that was basically top 10 on the tour just 2 years ago, and he has really struggled this season, and we saw kind of a decline at the end of last year as well.
So we know the U.S. Open coming up next weekend. This weekend, however, the Royal Bank of Canada Canadian Open. What can you tell me about it?
To use, again, Byron, the Model Maniac, who was on my show last night, he does this. This is an event where they rotate venues, and this year's venue has never been used in the rotation. So we're flying blind, or again, as Byron likes to say, put on your, Bob Ross, pros, and we're painting our own numbers, right? That there are no paint by numbers this week. You are just feeling it. And this is a course that I've tried to figure out how am I going to go at it. It's TPC Toronto. It's a par 70. That's a little unusual. There's only 2 par 5s. One is on 1. The other is on 18. So you have 16 holes where these guys will not get another gimme, birdie hole for most of the best in the world. And 6 par 4s of 480 plus yards. You got 2 par 3s of 220 plus. And most people are thinking it's going to be a scoring test. They just think these guys are too good. There's not a lot of rough. The fairways are wide. And despite the massive greens, they just think they're going to make birdies in bunches. I'm not sure about that. Again, when they're going to face 180 to 230 yard approaches on potentially 6 to 10 holes, I just don't know how deep guys can go. So I really looked at strokes gained to the green recently. Obviously, driving distance is a big advantage this week because, again, wide fairways, a lot of long holes, and then the rough is not really much of anything. It's moderate at best. So I looked at that, and then, again, for the approach stuff, you could look at it from 150 and further out. I looked at it that if it was a bomber, it was more okay that they, if that's kind of the number that they really excel at, it's 150, 200, but on some of these shorter guys, if they are good from that 175 and further number, I feel pretty confident using them this week because, again, I just don't think the scoring is going to get out of control.
Who's your pick for the weekend then?
Sam Burns is a guy that I think is due to win. He's 30-1. He's been trending in the right direction recently. He has become the best putter on tour by a wide margin. He has, I think, gained 4.5 strokes on the field in like 7 straight tournaments. On the greens, he's first in strokes gained putting on the season. So I do like Burns this week. I'm fascinated to see what happens with Luke Clanton, the FSU standout who is now officially turned professional. He had a very good last year playing in events as an amateur. He actually got to play a lot more than he was supposed to because he kept getting good results. And a lot of tournaments he finished top 10, top 20. You get into the next week's PGA event. So he's turning pro, and I really like him on this golf course, but I am nervous to see that they paired him with Rory McIlroy and Ludwig Hoberg for the first 2 rounds. And it's like, okay, kid, if it's not big enough that you're making your first professional start where whatever you make this week, you can actually collect it. Unlike in the previous tournaments when he was still a collegiate golfer, I'm interested to see how he handles it because in some ways I think he's going to live up to it. He's a pretty aggressive guy. I've heard him, give plenty of interviews where he believes in his abilities. And again, this is a course that really fits him well. He gets it a mile. He's a really good long iron player. And he had really good short game numbers for the PGA events he's played this year.
So, Keith, I have a really quick question. In today's collegiate world, they can't turn their winnings into, like, NIL checks?
They can't turn their winnings into NIL, though, because that would be playing for a professional league, right? It's part of just how absurd this whole thing is that the NIL has to be advertisement deals, right? Like, it's just like the guys in college football couldn't, play even in the UFL or something, right? Like the Rocks League, the Broke League in between, because once that, you're technically a professional, right? So, even though these guys are getting paid while they're in college, it's madness.
I figured like the Royal Canadian Bank or whoever's sponsoring this tournament would sponsor, say, this Florida State kid that finished 8th for the weekend.
Right. That would make sense, but they won't do that.
Okay.
Unfortunately for golfers, it is still the same deal. Like I said, they're probably got it as bad as any of these guys, but they are getting, deals. Like he's been signed with Nike now for several months, and he was still playing in college. So that, again, is an advertising deal. So he's gotten paid, but he's made some pretty big paychecks. He's missed out in golf tournaments, and this week he gets to keep it.
So college guys could play in these tournaments, but
amateurs
you can't take the money though.
Correct.
That's odd.
Because once you take the money, you're a professional.
Right. So you can show up and you can play against all the pros and you can beat all the pros and you can be better than them. You just can't be richer than them.
You can win one of the majors. You just don't
they've been doing this for a long time, and a lot of this, remember, is the prestigious events you get to play in. As an amateur, right? The USAM. You get to potentially play at the Masters. Like there's all these different places that you have avenues into really prestigious tournaments when you're like 19, 20 years old. Even Tiger Woods didn't turn pro till he was almost 21. And by that time, he literally a year later won the Masters by a gazillion strokes. So, he was already probably the best golfer in the world before he even turned pro.
Crazy, man. Crazy. I just wish they could figure this whole thing out with the whole NIL thing. It just, at times I like it, and then at times I look at it and go, this makes no sense, man.
But my question is, do they even want
to has to give up. It's not like they're a professional entity is what they are. It's a professional sport. And if they would treat it like that, these kids would have to sign contracts. Like, to me, that's the answer is you have to spend a minimum of 2 years somewhere. Like, you can't transfer each year or each semester, but I think all these kids should be getting paid because they're making billions of dollars, and the only people not getting any of this money is the stars of the show, right, of March Madness or of the college football season.
Yeah, the guys that are actually putting the labor in, you say?
Exactly. Yeah. So a real shocking thing in America to hear the backs of labor is not getting taken care of, but that's the way it is, unfortunately.
That's how it goes. All right, Keith, you going to be able to hang out with us for another segment?
Yeah.
All right, coming up next, we'll have more of Keith Fleming, but we'll switch gears to some fantasy football. You are listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. This is the Inside Drive. Hang out.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdog.
Ryan Mathis has got Wherever I May Roam.
Metallica, yeah, but it sounds off of Metallica. I mean, like, I don't want to, here it comes.
I've been trying to. I've had too many guests on today to let
that
him out of the cage.
Man,
yet.
like, it's just too much. If you're a Metallica fan, and like, if you consider yourself a Metallica fan, I don't think you should name that album.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joelle on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Wednesday. Light sprinkles the rest of the day with a gentle breeze coming out of the south-southeast at 10 miles per hour, and look for it to be 81. Tonight, there will be very light showers with the temperature reaching 76. Possible thunderstorms tomorrow with a high of 85. Friday, we'll have a high of 86 and a possibility of thunderstorms. This weather is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Now in stock at Tommy Otto's.
2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee Altitude. Luxury at a value price. $13,995 or a 2017 Hyundai Santa Fe Sport with one owner. Sporty and affordable. $11,995 at Tommy Otto's.
Buy here, pay here. Financing options available. Everyone is approved. Tommy Otto's, 2209 West 15th Street, Panama City. 850-960-8664. For the latest deals and specials, follow Tommy Otto's on Facebook. Add tag, tax and title.
Is your restaurant looking a little tired from the long off season? Is your office a little offish? Start the new year off right by giving them a fresh start. Fresh Start Cleaning is now accepting new clients. Ask about their complimentary hood cleaning services. Fresh Start Cleaning. Get clean again with Fresh Start. Call 850-771-6917, 771-6917, and ask about their complimentary hood cleaning services.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Gulf Plus studios. Now back to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
It's alive! Look alive! We're alive!
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It is the Inside Drive, sponsored by Golf Plus. And for all of your golfing needs, be sure to visit Alan Watson at Golf Plus right here in Panama City at the shops at Edgewater. Or if you are listening to us just a little bit to the north, also in Dothan, Alabama, right there off of Montgomery Highway. Braves on the airwaves here tonight, 6 o'clock for pregame, 6:15 first pitch, taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. You can call the show, you can text the show, 850-215-6290, and be sure to download our app from your app store. Take us with you all across the world as long as you're connected to that wonderful, wonderful internet. James Fife here, Chef Ross, David Hayes, and on the phone with us right now, Keith Fleming. Keith Fleming is a writer on Fantasy Six Pack for DFS Golf and DFS Football. And right now we are going to be talking some fantasy football with Keith Fleming. Welcome back with us, Keith.
Welcome back. What's going on, guys?
Not a whole lot. So got a couple of fantasy football questions here. I am a fantasy footballer myself. I'm not great at it, but, like all of us sports fans, we still take a check and try to do our best with it. And with all of the sports kind of running down, Stanley Cup happening, NBA Finals happening, College World Series are happening, we're just going to be left with some baseball and some golf here. So we got time to start thinking about our fantasy football teams that we're going to be drafting coming up here in August. So got a couple of questions for you on what I need to do and what the people out there can do with their teams. So I'll just go ahead and start with the most important position in the National Football League, which is quarterbacks. What quarterbacks out there are you looking for to either have a bounce back year or a breakout year that we could get maybe in the mid to later rounds?
There's a few guys. I do real quick just want to touch on my strategy with quarterbacks and running backs. I always feel like that you can get value later with these positions to where the drop-off from the top receivers and top tight ends, like from the tier standpoint, is a lot further, and it's hard to make up those points week to week. Like last year, Jake Daniels was the guy that I drafted in a majority of my drafts, and I didn't expect him to have the season he did, especially from a passing standpoint, but I did expect him to run, and that is where the real value lies, in these drafts, is on these quarterbacks that are available in, say, like the 12 to 25 range. So you're not spending a ton of capital on them, but they're going to give you a consistent floor week to week because of their rushing upside. Like, yes, it's not going to be Josh Allen or Lamar level, but like, for instance, Baker Mayfield last year is somebody who averaged like almost 20 yards per game. He scored over 3 points per game with just his legs, and that is huge, having that week in and week out on top of whatever they throw. And remember that quarterbacks get 3 times the points for rushing, and they get more points for rushing touchdowns than they do for passing yards and passing touchdowns. So, like the guys I'm looking at this year, Drake May, depending on where he ends up, he ran a ton last year and already showed signs of being one of the more electric players in the NFL. Reminds me a lot of a young Josh Allen, that he can make every throw, can make plays happen with his legs. Like Josh Allen, he needs to learn to kind of hold back and not always try to make the throws he tries to make, especially with the receivers that they had like in New England last year. But I think he's a very safe play this year. Justin Fields is somebody I'm going to be picking up in a ton of drafts. Like, look, I get it. Fields is not this sexy quarterback. The Jets are kind of a mess from an offensive standpoint, coaching standpoint. But again, Justin Fields is a top 10 fantasy quarterback every year that he starts at least 6 games at quarterback since he's been in the league. And this is a guy that is a guaranteed 15 to 20 points. And I can't believe that the Jets wouldn't have seen what Pittsburgh did with him in those 6 games to start last year and say that's what we're going to do with Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, is try to really use Fields' ability to run and make plays with his legs to then open up the pass. So I think Fields is another guy that is a real value where he's going right now. And then Caleb Williams is another guy that we grade him too hard, I think, in a lot of ways. I don't know if it's just because people don't like him. I don't totally understand it, but think about how much of a mess that Chicago, coaching staff, locker room, everything was last year. We now know it started with him not even wanting to go there and starting to do an Eli Manning thing. He lost his head coach, then he lost his offensive coordinator, then he lost his QB coach. It was just one after the other. He threw single-digit interceptions last year and over 20 touchdowns. They used him with his legs a lot more late in the season, and Ben Johnson is arguably one of the best play callers in the NFL and has been with Detroit for the last few years, and I expect that Chicago offense to be really good, right away. I believe in Caleb Williams. He can make all the throws. He's accurate, and the biggest thing is they really shored up that offensive line where maybe you get a few more design runs and not him just running for his life.
You are listening to ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3. Keith Fleming on the line with us, and I got a text here from a listener, Keith. They want to know, what rookies should they be looking for in the later rounds?
For starters, running backs. It's the position that, to me, if you're not taking a Bijan, a Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley, I would not take a running back until at least the 5th, 6th round. You look year over year, there's so much turnover with what the running backs score. You don't ever know what to expect. That's why Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, even going to great situations in Baltimore and Philadelphia, you could have had both of them late in the 1st round last year. Think about that. You would have basically had the 2 biggest scorers in fantasy, and they were still underrated. It's because there's just so much turmoil. Jadon Blue with Dallas is a really interesting situation. No offense to Javonte Williams, but he's not good. He's just not. Like, I don't believe he's going to now all of a sudden be the main ball carrier in offense. I was really shocked they didn't bring Rico Dotto back, who was really good just a year after letting Tony Pollard go. So I think he could easily win that backfield. R.J. Harvey for Denver is another guy that I just don't love any of the backs that Denver had last year, and you could tell that Sean Payton didn't either because he played all of them, and nobody ever knew who was going to get the ball or who was going to get the carries. And I think there's some signs that they're bringing in more players like Cortland Sutton that they can really rely on week to week. They traded for Evan Ingram, and I think Harvey being drafted is another guy. I don't think you can get Hampton late, but that's a great situation with the Chargers. We know how much Harbaugh loves to run the football. And then, like, from other position standpoints, I really like Jack Beck, the receiver with Vegas, because he doesn't really have to beat anybody up to immediately get targets and have a path to, again, getting the ball, which is what's most important with these receivers when you're taking them later. Like, I would rather have a guy getting 7 targets a game than I would somebody with 3 targets who scores a touchdown one out of every, 2 or 3 games. I would rather have that consistency. I think you're going to win more often. And then, again, the tight ends, everybody's going to talk about the first 2 guys drafted. I really like Mason Taylor for the Jets. The Jets got rid of Tyler Conklin, who was their tight end last year. Again, you have Justin Fields, who really relied on the tight end both in Pittsburgh last year and the year before in Chicago with Cole Kmet. And they don't really have any options outside of Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. So I could just see him immediately getting a lot of targets, and that's somebody you can take super late.
So we're kind of, figuring out what rosters are going to be for teams. We're seeing guys move around. Everything's getting kind of settled out now. What players out there that have gotten to a new team do you think are going to get a boost from being in a new house?
I am probably way too in love with Christian Kirk going to the Texans. I think that was another situation where it was just a mess last year. Like, Bobby Slovic got a lot of credit year one, and I think that was just C.J. Stroud was so great, and he didn't change anything year 2. Defenses figured that out, and then, that, and then losing Collins for like 4 or 5 games, Diggs for the year, and then Dell at the end of the year. They just never had their pieces. And I think Christian Kirk is everything they want in Stephon Diggs, except he's not the headache, right? Like, Christian Kirk's not going to be complaining if he doesn't get 7, 8 targets a game. I think C.J. Stroud is going to have a fantastic season this year. Nico Collins is one of the best wide receivers in football. And I think adding Christian Kirk to that passing game is going to make that Houston offense look a lot more like year 1 with Stroud than year 2.
Now, I think you answered this earlier, but I am going to just re-ask it to make sure I am understanding this right. So I'm there, I'm drafting. It's a point per reception league. More important to draft early, wide receiver or running back?
Wide receiver. And full PPR leagues, I probably, again, will not take a running back or a quarterback till after the 6th, 7th round. Obviously, there is, exceptions to these rules. Don't get me wrong. Like, if, say, Bijan Robinson is still there 6th, and I'm drafting 6th, I'm going to take Bijan Robinson. Like, I'm not going to turn down great value, but if drafts go the way they're supposed to, it's way more important in full PPR to have those wide receivers who put up monster numbers and, again, are getting a ton of targets because you can kind of know what your floor is week to week. And then, obviously, the big breakout games, it's even better. And another thing, just to remind you, running backs also get a full point per catch. So instead of drafting running backs early that are the lead back, focus on guys like a Bucky Irving last year, right, who Rachaad White was originally going to be the starter. Bucky won the job and was incredible, but even after Bucky won the job, Rachaad White was still catching 4 or 5 passes a game down the stretch. That's really valuable when you can take somebody like that so late in drafts where there's not, like, yes, every once in a while you might draft a rookie wide receiver or somebody like a Christian Kirk, late that, has a breakout year, but more than likely you're not going to see wide receivers taken from the 9th, 10th round on do anything to, or think about the running back situations and the surprises each year. It happens at that position every year.
Got a question? Go ahead, Ross.
Earlier you mentioned this name, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I really feel right now that Justin Fields is an upgrade going from the Steelers to the Jets, just with the way this whole offseason has played out and the Aaron Rodgers drama and the Steelers having 0 quarterbacks. I think the Jets are a little bit better of a situation for him.
I'm a big believer in Justin Fields. Like, I feel really sorry for him because the same thing I was saying about Caleb Williams, Fields was in that mess in Chicago for 3 years. I mean, they didn't ever run the offense where they really highlighted his running. Like, at least if you look at design runs, so much of what he was doing with his legs in Chicago was him just being like, okay, I'm about to get sacked for the 54th time. I'm just going to take off. And he's this amazing athlete. I remember Fields from Ohio State being one of the best down the field throwers in college football, and Garrett Wilson is a stud. I think Breece Hall is a stud. Like, metric-wise, he's there with, like, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, like all of the best backs over the last decade. And I'm with you. The problem for the Jets is just I think that division is going to be really good because I think Miami's going to be better than people think. They're going to win at least, half of their games. I think the Patriots are definitely going to be better. And Buffalo now with the Bosa signing, like, that really is what Buffalo has missed the last few years. They may finally be able to get over the top if Bosa can stay healthy and really provide that constant pressure that they thought they were going to get from Von Miller.
Yeah. And then, Keith, do you believe in the Madden curse, or are you still taking Saquon early?
I would never take Barkley or Henry early. I don't trust older running backs. I'm not saying that, if you really feel good about it, go ahead, but just the history of things are these guys typically don't do very well once they hit like 27, 28 years old, or they get a certain amount of touches. And these guys have both exceeded both of those, and both of them were so heavily used last year that I, again, would rather, I think Bijan is they're going to just have a monster year. A full year with Penix at quarterback is going to really open up things. I think they'll use him a little bit more than they did early in the season. So he's really the only back, him and Gibbs, that I would take in the first 6, 7, maybe even 10 picks. I would rather have the Justin Jeffersons. I would, rather have CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nacua, Drake London is a guy I think a lot of people are sleeping on. Again, with the huge upgrade of Michael Penix, who I don't even know if Penix is going to be good. I know he's better than Desmond Ridder. I know he's better than what I saw from Kirk Cousins last year, and I know he's better than Marcus Mariota. And that's the only people Drake London's been catching passes from in his NFL career.
All right, Keith, one more question for you. What was a player last year who was either had a down year or was fairly injured last year that you are expecting to make a comeback?
Ooh, that is a good question. I think it's Breece Hall with the Jets. I know it disappointed. He's banged up. Obviously he had the injury at the end of the season before. The Jets' offense was just a mess. And typically these running backs, it takes about 12 to 18 months, if you're not Adrian Peterson, to really have a bad lower leg injury and get back to where you can cut and be as fast as you were before. I just think also having Fields back there, adding that extra threat, is going to open up a lot of stuff, and I would assume that they're going to run a lot of read option with those two, which Breece did very well in his time at Oklahoma. So I just think, Iowa State, I think that Breece Hall is going to have a really breakout year this year.
All right, Mr. Fleming. Keith Fleming, ladies and gentlemen. Keith Fleming, writer on Fantasy Six Pack for DFS Golf and DFS Football. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us here on this Wednesday, sir.
Anytime. DJ Davey, Crockett back there on the 1-2s. I love you guys. I love this show. Y'all keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Keith.
See you, Keith.
See you, David. Yes, sir. Later.
All right, everybody. Keith Fleming here with us. And when we come back, we got our $2 bets and This Day in History. Listening to the Inside Drive, sponsored by Golf Plus, ESPN, Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
The Atlanta Braves are looking to wake up their bats and bring some heavy lumber.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. The outfielders look up. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley with a home run.
Tonight, it's the Atlanta Braves at Truist Park versus the Arizona Diamondbacks. We'll have live coverage coming up at 6. First pitch at 6:15 on your spot for the A.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Cold, creamy, and gourmet. Milkshake Factory is now open at Breakfast Point Marketplace near Publix next to First Watch. Unbelievably delicious handcrafted milkshakes and chocolates like the famous chocolate bark. Try the mouth-watering chocolate dipped strawberry shake. Family-friendly fun and unforgettable shakes await. Milkshake Factory now open at Breakfast Point Marketplace near Publix next to First Watch on Back Beach. Milkshake Factory.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover the new Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive the new 2025 Kia. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The 2025 Kia SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in the luxury of a 2025 Kia K5 sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
Springtime is finally here. You know what that means? Time for some spring cleaning. Hi, Doug Chamberlain with the Samaritan Ministries Family Health Checkup. I love springtime because it's like getting a fresh start. And if you're in a climate where your home has been locked up for a few months, it's an opportunity to freshen things up. But no matter where you live, it's a good idea to do a thorough cleaning periodically to rid your home of things like dust and mold that may have been sitting for a while, because they can cause health problems, especially if you have allergies. As you're cleaning, remember to dampen your rag or mop, because if you use them dry, it just stirs up dust. As you vacuum, use a HEPA filter to keep the dust at a minimum. Then, if you're sensitive to the harsh chemicals found in cleaners, there are resources online on how to make your own chemical-free cleaners that are safe for you and your family. For more, visit us at Family Health Checkup on Facebook or at FamilyHealthCheckup.org.
Broadcasting from the Golf Plus studios, it's the Inside Drive. We're betting the limit and covering the spread.
Viva Las Vegas!
The Inside Drive with Ryan and Jay.
Thank you. Nice to be in Vegas.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Inside Drive, sponsored by Golf Plus, here on ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3, raving it out with DJ Dave. Give us a call, give us a text, 850-215-6290, and be sure to download the app. You can get it on the Apple Play Store or the Google Play Store. You can get it at the Apple App Store. Take us with you everywhere you go. And Chef Ross has something to tell us.
Oh, breaking news from the Afternoon Underdogs last night. We had a poll on what we were going to name the pig that we will be cooking at the Pop's Pig Pickin' Barbecue on June 14th at the break room.
Which, by the way, we've got a great name. How about Sue-Wee? That would have been a good one.
That would have been a good one. But our lovely listeners decided to go with the notorious PIG, a.k.a. Piggy Smalls.
Piggy, can't
you see? Sometimes your pork just gets to me. Eggs and bacon, baby.
Yeah. And we are also possibly witnessing history. This could be the first sweep in the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah,
they're up 2-0.
Well,
Rockies
this is actually their first series win of the year.
Yeah, first series win, but they could get the sweep on the Marlins up 3-0 currently at the end of the 6th inning.
Golly.
Man, what happened to the Marlins? They were almost bad, and now they're awful.
Let's not focus on the negative. Let's look at the positive here. What in the world's going on with the Rockies?
All 15 people in that stadium are witnessing history.
Yeah. Right. That's insanity.
Well, I mean, probably like 5 of them are watching, and the other 10 are on phones, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just not in the press box, or not in their luxury suites, hopefully.
All right, tell us about the rest of the pick 'em.
All right, so we are cooking the notorious PIG at the break room next Saturday. I will have the U.S. Open on at least one of the TVs there, so all you golf fans can still get out and watch Moving Day. Help me cheer on Scotty. There will be a pool tournament starting around 1 o'clock with a $15 entry fee. That goes towards your entry to the tournament. It covers your table fees for the games you're playing. Also, for $2 extra, you can buy a mulligan. So you miss your shot. You don't want to give the table run to the person that's your opponent. You spend an extra $2, you get to shoot again, and hopefully run out your balls.
There you go.
You cannot use your mulligan on the 8-ball because that's just cheating. I like to bend the rules, not break them, and you have to have a legal shot to use your mulligan as well. So you can't scratch or illegally break your balls out that are trapped to be able to run the table that way. But other than that, let's have some fun, raise some money. I'm going to use this to feed the hurricane victims, which, according to a map I looked at on Facebook yesterday, is like 85% chance it's going to hit the Florida coast.
Yeah, that's a good chance. I'd say there's a good chance of a hurricane hitting Florida. I mean, we kind of just stick out there into the Atlantic and into the Gulf.
So it looks like I will be going somewhere, hopefully not around Panama City and our listening area, a little further out to show some 850 love. But I will be feeding hurricane victims somewhere in Florida, probably.
So next Saturday, everybody, head on out with Chef Ross, 2727 Joan Avenue, 12 to 6. $2 bets. So yesterday, none of my 3 bets hit. I was a big goose egg on all of those. So hopefully my luck turns around on this evening. Gonna open up with the Panthers versus Oilers. I'm going to take the Panthers plus the 1.5. Going to take the over on the goals at 6.5, and I am going to take Bob, good old Bobrovsky. I'm going to take Bobrovsky. Going to take him on the over on saves at 24.5. My $2 bet, if it hits, will pay me out $9 American dollars. Next.
Chef Ross, what you working with over there? I'm going to take the Marlins plus 550 right now, down 3 runs. No, I'm staying away from that. You go get your daggum sweep. Ooh, man, how about the Angels already on top of the
Angels up on
the Red Sox right now, 4-0. I'm going to put a little 3-leg again. I'm going to take Houston over Pittsburgh. All right, Detroit's got to bounce back tonight. So give me Detroit. And then one more here. How about we just take the Diamondbacks over the daggum Braves? I'm going to take Philly tonight. Let me see who's pitching real quick. That's going to play a large role, and that is going to be Mick Abel. So that is going to able me to stay away from that game. We'll go to. Oh, this is tough right here.
Tough.
I just need that 3rd leg, dadgummit. I'll take the Yankees to make that the 3rd leg tonight, and we'll do $2. Let's see what the Astros, Tigers, Yankees, $2 to win, $8. I'm not going to up that one to 20.
Chef Ross, what you got?
I'll just straight up take the Pacers plus 9.
Oh, $2 bet today for tomorrow. I like it.
Looking at futures, man. Futures is where we are. All right, I got the Cubs for a win over on runs at 8.5. I got PCA at over 0.5 hits. And I got Mike Kelly over 0.5 hits. So my $2 bet, if it lands, will get me $11.50 for the Cubos.
Oh, Jackson Churio just hit a home run if you had that $2 bet.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I was a Ronald Acuna Jr. home run away last night from hitting one of the little $2 bets. Skeens went over 8. PCA got him a hit. I'll go another 3-leg parlay. Let's take the Oilers to win game 1 tonight. Let's take the over of 6.5, and then Alexander Barkov to get a point. That would be $2 to win $11.50.
All right.
I'm really mad at my money, so I'm diving into the WNBA.
Here we go.
Give me the New York Liberty minus 12.5.
Give me liberty or give me death.
And that means I need to have that over of 163.5 hit. So I'll do that 2-leg parlay.
There we go. All right, my last one of the day. I got the Tigers for the win, the Yankees for the win. My $2 bet will pay me $4.67.
All right. Let's see here. I'm going to take the Marlins right now. We'll just do it. They're plus 105 to finish this game with 2.5 runs. Or, they get 2.5 runs here. That's the spread. So I'll do that. And we'll just try to double up the money.
All right, Chef Ross got one more for us?
Let me hit some baseball here. I really need those Nationals to beat the Cubs.
There we go. He says Nationals over the Cubs. This day in history, it is Wednesday, June 4th. And on this day, 1927, the United States wins the first Ryder Cup golf tournament by beating Britain 9.5 to 2.5. 1974, the NFL grants the franchise to the Seattle Seahawks. 1960 champion Arnold Palmer fails to qualify for the U.S. Open Golf Championship. It would be his first time not qualifying in 32 years.
Ain't no Scotty Scheffler.
No, not at all. Who's Arnold Palmer?
It's a good drink, though.
1990, Penn State is voted into the Big Ten. That makes it the 11th school in the conference. The last time a school was added before that was Michigan State in 1949. This day, 2009, Randy Johnson earns his win number 300, becoming the 24th Major League pitcher to reach the milestone by leading the San Francisco Giants to a 5-1 victory over the Washington Nationals in the first game of the doubleheader.
I do not remember Randy Johnson throwing for the Giants.
He did for like 2 seasons.
Yeah, I'm not.
It was right at the end of the career, too.
Just one of those ones where you're like, what?
And 2019, San Francisco Giants manager Bruce Bochy wins game number 1,000 as a manager as the Giants defeat the New York Mets 9-3.
He's still out there getting dubs, ain't he?
Still out there getting the old dubs. He's now 4th, 5th all-time in wins, somewhere in there?
Somewhere around
It's
there.
not today, but it was this week in sports history that the Nolan Ryan, Robin Ventura fight happened.
Oh, that one's great. I got that in so my mom's a huge Nolan Ryan fan, and for one Christmas, I got her a picture box with Nolan Ryan and, the finger sticking out to like punch him in the nose on Robin Ventura. That picture is signed by both guys. And then I also have a Nolan Ryan signed ball in it and a Robin Ventura signed ball in it. That is probably one of my mother's most prized possessions, I got to say.
Best trolling for a long time ago was when Ventura was the manager of the White Sox. Every time they came to Texas, they showed that on the Jumbotron.
I would.
Every
definitely.
time.
Oh, I'd have to. Even if it was just playing, I'd have to do it. It's so great. All right, got some news from the NBA. This came out yesterday and is totally mind-boggling to me. The New York Knicks fire Tom Thibodeau. This decision was made 3 days after the Knicks got eliminated from the East Finals. The first time the Knicks have made the East Final in 25 years. And this is also after 50-plus win back-to-back seasons for the Knicks. The first time the Knicks have done that since 1995. My question to you guys, why?
That head scratch.
Because things up there in New York just don't make no sense.
If on May 1st, so 30 days ago, if you would have told any Knicks fan they'd be playing in the Eastern Conference Finals, they'd be ecstatic about it.
And you made it to Game 6 even. You didn't even get swept.
Yeah.
So you beat the Celtics. That's something that never happens, and that's hugest rivalry in the Northeast, especially NBA-wise. Yep. So you take care of them. You get to the Eastern Conference Finals. You don't play terrible.
No, they played well against the Pacers, I thought. I thought they ran out of gas, but, I mean, is that why they got rid of him? Is because he didn't use the bench? But, I mean, what did Tom have on the bench to throw out there?
Yeah. Apparently we got rid of him because he wants to play defense.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is, bro. Hey, we're focusing way too much on the defensive side of the ball here. Let's tone it up and try to get with the rest of the NBA. Meanwhile, what did the Pacers do? Well, they pushed the pace and they score some points, but they play pretty good defense too.
The Pacers played excellent defense through the whole tournament. I thought the Pacers have been so far the team with the most depth and the team that has been willing to play on both sides of the court, because a lot of teams in the NBA nowadays just want to play on the one side of the court and they're not playing on the other side of the court. But hey, that's how we're playing basketball. This has been the Inside Drive, sponsored by Golf Plus. Thank you guys tuning in, hanging out with us. James Fife, Chef Ross, David Hayes. Have a great day, everybody. Keep
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
The Atlanta Braves are looking to wake up their bats and bring some heavy lumber.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep.